My hearty greetings to you all, my dear students. The topic scheduled for today's program is differences between American and British English. First of all, let's know the difference between British English and American English. You can read over here. Dear students, you can note down in your notebooks. British English is the form of English used in the United Kingdom. It includes all English dialects used within the United Kingdom. Then coming to American English is the form of English used in the United States. It includes all English dialects used within the United States. If you think about deeply, what's the difference between American English and British English? If you see the newspapers and any authentic material, that is written form of British English and American English as found in newspapers and textbooks, very little in their essential features. That means you find very little difference there. So this kind of formal English, particularly written English, is often called as standard English, because many students many times ask me what's meant by standard English and what's the difference between American English and British English. So this is the difference between American English and British English. So what's meant by standard English now? I think you can understand. That is, what we find in authentic material, that is the difference between standard English and American English and British English. Now, the way of pronouncing standard English is known as received pronunciation. You find RP many times in dictionaries and you do not know what is meant by RP. RP means received pronunciation. That means received pronunciation is a standard accent of standard English. So, written form is known as standard English and pronouncing correctly is known as received pronunciation. Then coming to accent. So, before going to further, we must know what is meant by accent. Accent is a manner of pronunciation peculiar to a particular individual, location or nation. That means accent varies from place to place. For example, if you come from Rayalaseema region and if you come from Andhra region and if you come from any other place, your accent will be different. So, we can make out people from which place the people are from. So, accent is a manner of pronunciation peculiar to a particular individual, location and nation. That means by listening to the language, we can understand from which place they are from. Then an accent may identify the locality in which its speakers reside, that is regional accent, the socio-economic status of its speakers. Here students, you observe the terminology what I have used here, the socio-economic status of its speakers. That means people who are living, for example, tribal area people, and social economic status, that means illiterates and literates. By using the accent, we can understand whether they are literates or illiterates. So, an accent may identify the locality in which its speakers reside, that is regional accent. By talking to them, we can immediately make out that this person is from that particular place. The social economic status also we can make out. Then a word can be spoken in different ways by various individuals or groups depending on many factors. Because accent, what is meant by accent? How the way we utter a particular word. A word can be spoken in different ways, a single word, because we are all native speakers of Telugu or Urdu. A particular word we use in different ways. A word can be spoken in different ways by various individuals. If you ask 10 girls to speak the same word, 10 girls will speak the same word differently. So, that is accent. Accent varies from individual to individual or groups also, because a particular group of people living in a particular habitation, they all will have the same kind of accent depending on many factors such as the area in which they grow up. It is called a dialect. So, I would like to explain what dialect is. Many times already I have mentioned that dialect is the language what we are habituated to speak. For example, already I told you that people from Rayalaseema will have different dialect. That is only Telugu. We speak Telugu and we speak Urdu, but the dialect will be different. So, by listening to the dialect, we can understand from which place they are from. So, we call it as a dialect. In Rayalaseema region, we have different dialect. In Andhra, we have different dialect. In Telangana, we have different dialect. So, in the same manner, in English also we have different dialects. So, that is meant by dialect. Then, going after that, we have to know what pronunciation is. So, I talked about accent, and then I would like to talk about pronunciation. Pronunciation refers to the ability to use the correct stress, rhythm and intonation of a word in a spoken language. So, that is meant by pronunciation, because to speak English, pronunciation is very essential. For effective communication, we have to concentrate on the correct stress and rhythm and intonation of a word in a spoken language. If you don't have any rhythm, the tone will be flat. So, we have to raise our voice accordingly to express effectively. So, that is rising tone and falling tone. And coming to the correct stress, I would like to give an interesting example. So, you can note down in your notebooks, dear students. See the example given here. John took the dog for a walk in the park. So, I have used that because it is a statement, I have used a flat tone here. So, coming to the stress, suppose somebody asks you, who took the dog? You want to say, John took the dog for a walk in the park. So, immediately the stress I am giving on John. So, we can understand that John has taken dog for a walk in the park. Then, if you give stress on dog, John took whom? If somebody asks like that, you can say, John took the dog for a walk in the park. Oh, John took the dog, not anyone. John took the dog for a walk in the park. Then, if you give a stress on walk, it gives different meaning. John took the dog for a walk in the park. Oh, he took the dog for a walk in the park. Then, John took the dog for a walk in the park. The stress is on park. So, the same sentence we are using in different styles. That is, we are shifting the stress from one word to another to emphasize the meaning. In the same way, I would like to give another example. You can note down some more interesting examples like this. My sister is coming from America. That is a statement. Suppose if you put a question, who is coming? I would like to say, my sister is coming from America, not anybody else. My sister is coming from America. My sister is coming from America. So, who is coming? My sister, not my sister-in-law or anyone, my friend. So, I am giving stress on sister. My sister is coming from America. My sister is coming from America. So, she is coming from America, not from Bombay or London. The stress is on America. And again we can also give a stress on my sister is coming. So, not going. So, I am going to the airport to receive her. So, dear students, I think you can get the meaning by now. See, I have given two examples. One is John took the dog for a walk in the park. Other one is my sister is coming from America. So, you practice this type of sentences with your partner. If you do the pair work, you can develop beautiful stress and how stress gives effective communication. And in the same way, if you talk about intonation, already told you, we must have intonation. Are you coming tomorrow? That is a raising tone. Yes, I am coming tomorrow. That is a flat tone. So, here I have used raising tone as well as falling tone. Without using raising tone and falling tone, if I use a flat tone, the meaning cannot be conveyed properly. And regarding with rhythm, English is a rhythmic language. In the same sentence, you can find rhythm over here, like John took the dog for a walk in the park. So, like rhymes, in the nursery classes, we teach rhymes to the students so that they can learn this rhythm. See, here also in the same sentence, you can find lot of rhythm. That is tum titty tum titty tum. So, that is a rhythm what we use in English over here. So, for correct pronunciation to effective communication, what is essential, dear students? Pronunciation is essential and correct stress is essential, and we have to maintain rhythm and we have to maintain intonation to give correct pronunciation, correct effective communication. That is how we have to speak English. If not, English will not be like English, it will lose its beauty. So, you have to practice this type of sentences with your partners. Then let us come to the major point. The point is the major differences between British and American English lies in the choice of vocabulary. So, generally you will be coming across this vocabulary. You can see the pictures over here. You can see apartments here. Generally, where somebody asks you where you are staying, immediately we say, I am residing in an apartment, madam, you will say. But here we can also, when you are writing an address, we write the flat number. Flat number 310 you will write, and you will mention it as I am residing in an apartment. You do not say I am residing in a flat, rarely use that word. So, both are correct. This apartment is American English and flat is British English. You can see another picture over here, that is a baby in the perambulator. In American English they call it as baby carriage. In British English we call it as pram, that is perambulator. So this is the vocabulary. Then if you see this picture, very interesting picture, that is you can find the picture, first picture band-aid, and if you go to a medical shop you use the word as band-aid and you don't ask for plaster, because plasters can be used in the stationery shop also, you get a plaster. This band-aid is exclusively we can get it in medical shop, but in American English they use the vocabulary as band-aid and British vocabulary is plaster. And another picture is, you can see maize over here, and if you want to say that you are growing a crop, you will say I am growing maize in my fields. You use a maize. If you go to a restaurant, you will say I would like to have a sweet corn soup. That's how we go to the restaurant and order for a sweet corn soup. You see the difference, we are using both the words, both the vocabulary, both American English and both British English. We do not know which is American English and which is British vocabulary and which is American vocabulary. Only dictionary helps us to make us understand which is American English and which is British English, because we got used to use all this type of both vocabulary, we are mixing up. Then in this picture you find a trash can. We never use that word. We do not know that it can be called as trash can. We know that, but we don't use, we call it as a bin. Even in the computers we can call it as recycle bin. We will call it as a dust bin. A bin is a container. Here in American English they are calling it as a trash can. In British English they are calling it as bin. In beneath this picture you can find a pharmacist, that is American English, and British English chemist. So you might be knowing the difference by now, dear students. And here also this picture, flashlight and torch. Flashlight is in American English, torch is British English, and you can see the diaper the baby wears, that is nappy. We use both the words diapers and nappies. Then here this person is showing two clocks over here, one is showing 9 o'clock and in the morning, another is 5 in the evening. So that is from dawn to dusk. If you work extra time, Americans say that is I work for extra time. In British English they say that is overtime. So we are using in offices that we also call it as OT, that is overtime. This is extra time, and that is in British English that is overtime. And this another picture, this is talking about sausage and Benja. So because these sausage and Benja, we are not got used to all these things, but we must know the difference, because nowadays people should know all these things, because in our JKCs we are giving training to our students to go for multinational companies, and where they should know the differences over here. And another thing is soccer and football. So in newspapers you use, if you see the newspaper in the beginning, I told you that in newspapers you find the difference, little difference in these authentic materials, that is soccer and football. And generally for this lawyer, by looking at the dress immediately we say that he is a lawyer. By looking at the dress immediately, every student, if you put a question, he is a lawyer ma'am, you will say. But the other word is solicitor. That is British English, they use the word solicitor for lawyer. And this is sidewalk and the other is pavement. And this is sweater, another is a jumper. And this is a parking lot and car park. Generally we use car park. Where is the car parking? We put a question like that. And we don't ask for where is a parking lot. If you go to big cities, you find a signboard over there by writing this parking lot. And mail and post. These are the common words we get used to. But here if you see this picture, this is a gas pedal in the car. The Americans use this is gas pedal, but we use only as a accelerator. If you go to a driving school, the teacher will teach us how they will use only the word as accelerator, but he will not teach us by using the word as gas pedal. And another word is operating room and operating theatre. And this is cookies and biscuits, hood and bonnet. These are the common words. And another thing is this elevator is very interesting. And many students put a doubt to me, madam, which is the correct word, elevator or lift? Both are correct. Elevator is used for American English people, and British English we call it as lift, and bathroom and loo. And here I would like to talk about another word, that is restroom and toilet. So recently, if you go to cities, if you go to even multinational companies, Infosys, they put a title signboard over there, the way to restroom. And in the railway stations, we don't find a restroom over there. In Telugu, it will be written differently. In English, it will be written differently. It will be written as waiting room in railway stations, and restroom. Restroom is meant by bathroom, that is toilet. So restroom, many people do not know what's meant by this restroom. They thought that they want to take rest. They say that there is no place here like this, but restroom means that is toilet. So dear students, if you go to any place, even in big shoppers in Hyderabad and any big cities, you find the title only as a restroom but not as a toilet. So restroom means toilet. Then another interesting thing is the different idioms. We should know the difference between American English and British English idioms. So if you see this sweep under the carpet, that is British English idiom, and sweep under the rug. See, you know what's meant by rug and you know what is meant by carpet. See, it means to try to stop people from finding out about something wrong, illegal, embarrassing, etc. that has happened or that you have done. So sweep under the carpet and sweep under the rug. So try to understand the meaning again. To try to stop people from finding out about something wrong and illegal, embarrassing things. So hiding something that has happened or that you have done. So that is the meaning of, in British English we use the same meaning by using the idiom as sweep under the carpet and sweep under the rug. Then another idiom is not touch something with a badge pole. Not touch something with a badge pole. In American English, not something with a 10-foot pole. Not touch something with a barge pole and not touch something with a 10-foot pole. It means to refuse to get involved with something or in a particular situation. I would like to explain once again. It means not touch something with a barge pole or not touch something with a 10-foot pole. To refuse to get involved with something or in a particular situation. To refuse to get involved. If you don't want involved, we can use this idiom. Then another interesting idiom is, generally we use this touch wood. Immediately we say touch wood, knock on wood. So many times we use this idiom. It means used when you have just mentioned some way in which you have been lucky in the past. To avoid bringing bad luck, immediately you say touch wood. If some good thing happens to you, immediately you ask your friend to touch wood or knock on wood. So this idiom is used when you have just mentioned some way in which you have been lucky in the past to avoid bringing bad luck. Then another interesting idiom is see the wood for the tree, see the forest for the tree. Dear students, is there any difference between? A slight difference. See the wood for the trees, see the forest for the trees. If you go to a forest, what you can see? Only trees you can see. If you go to a wood, what you can see? Only trees you can see. And wood is nothing but a forest. A small forest is known as wood. It means clearly visible in a way that is clearly visible. So that means clearly visible. If you want to say that which is clearly visible, you can use the idiom. And you can ask me, students, why we should use idioms. Idioms will add beauty to the language. Instead of using the entire explanation, if you use a beautiful idiom, it will add beauty to your language. Your language will become a flowery language. Then look at this idiom, a drop in the ocean, a drop in the bucket. British English is a wider sense. They are using a drop in the ocean, that is negligible. If you put a drop in the ocean, it will become negligible. A drop in the bucket, you know what bucket is. So in British English, they are using the wider range. Here, American English, the range is little bit small. It means an amount of something that is too small or unimportant to make any real difference to a situation. I think you got the meaning. An amount of something, a drop is negligible. an amount of something that is too small or unimportant to make any real difference to a particular situation. In that context, you can use this type of idioms. The next one is a home from home, a home away from home. Generally, we do use this many times. You might have used this idiom, a home from home, a home away from home. See, observe these differences between two. A home from home, that means a place where you feel relaxed. The difference between house and home. Can you tell me the difference between house and home? What's the difference between, you think for a while, brainstorm. Home is different from house. House is a building, a construction, a structure. Home is where we can relax, where we find our kith and kin, where we find comfort, where we find love and affection. That is home. So, that is the difference between home and house. So, if you observe this idiom, a home from home, a home away from home. So, that means a place where you feel relaxed and comfortable as if you are in your own house. Suppose if you are staying in a hostel, that hostel is very comfortable. You can say this is like a home away from my home. That means another home, because you do not find any difference over there, because you are getting all kind of comfort, love, affection, comfort over there. You can feel relaxed in that hostel, or as a paying guest, or with somebody else you are staying. You can use this word, a home away from home. So, this idiom, in that context you can use that idiom. Then another important thing for learning, knowing the difference between American English and British English is spelling differences. That is, when you are doing computer work, because nowadays all students will know how to do documentation. When you are typing, that is showing a red line is coming. Every student in my lab, they will ask me, madam, why it is showing spelling mistake? Because computers are designed with American English. So, their spelling is different from British spelling. So, if you observe generally OUR, see here I have specified OUR. In British English, we use COLOUR, LABOUR, labor, HUMOUR, humor, FLAVOUR, flavor. But the same spelling in American English. So, the computer shows if you type COLOUR, it will give us a red line. Immediately, if you go for spell check, it will correct it as COLOR. So, my students many times they express this question, what we should put, which is correct, whether we should continue with the COLOR, whether we should ignore, or whether we should go for COLOR. Because generally, because we are using British English, we type it as COLOR rather than keeping it as COLOR. So, in the same manner, here this labor, here you can see LABOR here, and humor and flavor. So, that is the difference between American English and American spelling and British spelling. Then another thing is TRE. So, center, CENTRE, center is British spelling, METRE is British spelling. In American spelling we use METER. So, E comes in the center here, CENTER, E comes in the center between T and R, and here in British spelling E will be put at the end of the word, CENTRE and CENTER. In the same manner, METRE, meter, METER, meter is American English. And in the same manner, theatre, 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 THEATER, theatre. Then NCE, the spelling with NCE, DEFENCE, defense, and OFFENCE, offense. LICENCE, license, ADVICE, advice. So, I see here, and here DFENSE, DFFENSE, LICENSE, ADVICE. See, the difference you should know. So, if you want to know the difference for many more spellings like this, you can take the help of the good dictionary. So, every student, I advise all the students to have a good dictionary. If you have a good dictionary with you, definitely the dictionary will help you to know the correct spelling in British English and American English. And in the same way, Many times we commit this mistake. We get a doubt whether we should use double L or single L. So in British English, the spelling is travelled, travelled, and cancelled, cancel, labelled, label, that is British spelling, and American spelling travelled, travel, and cancelled, cancel, and labelled, label. So you can note down in your notebook this type of differences. So generally we use this double L spelling mistake doubt many times. Many students arise this question. Then SE also, realize, whether we have to use ZE or SE. RELISE, realize, is British spelling, and ORGNISE is also British spelling, and ZE, the word ends with ZE, is American spelling. RELIZE is American spelling. ORAGANIZE is American spelling. ORGANISE is British spelling. Memorize, MEMORIZE, American spelling. MEMORISE is British spelling. So in this, generally we type this program, double M also same thing, PROGRAMME program, and if you type double M, it will show spell check in the computers. So it has to be written as ME. Then other spelling is YSE, analyze, ANALYSE, analyze, and PRALYSE, paralyze. So in the same way, in American English, the words ends with ZE, ANALYZE, and PRALYZE. So that is the difference between these words which have the spelling with YSE and YZE. In the same manner, Apcce, that is British English, inflection, reflection. See, in the British English you find inflection, INFLE, XION, inflection, REFLE, XION, reflection, and INFLE, CTION is American spelling, and INFLE, CTION is reflection for American spelling. So for XION is British spelling and TION is American spelling. The next thing is very interesting thing, and we have to think about pronunciation. As already I have mentioned earlier, pronunciation, effective pronunciation is very essential. So if you want to know how these Americans pronounce and British English will be pronounced, Daniel Jones dictionary will help you a lot, because in these days in our curriculum we have this pronunciation neutralization in first year, and even in the second year we have to take computer based examinations, and we have to listen to the stress, and we have to listen to the pronunciation, and you must be accustomed to know which is British English and which is American English. So if you listen again and again, that is, listening will make you a good speaker. If you want to become a good speaker, you have to listen again and again. See, I have given the phonetic script here. You all know, students, how to pronounce these words. That STATUS. How do you pronounce this? And you can find the syllable division also. In the first word, in the first phonetic transcription, A is there. That is diphthong. You will find. You find a diphthong over there. Status. You see, status. You try to repeat after me. Status. Status. So again and again, even when you are doing computer examination, even in the examination, they have given you an option to listen again and